What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I've got some news about a brand new game coming out that I think my Planet Coaster fans or maybe Zoo Tycoon fans out there are going to really love. If you haven't already seen this, and I'm not sure how you would not have unless you're living under a rock, Frontier announced early this morning that they are developing Planet Zoo. So a long time ago, it was kind of leaked that they filed a trademark for a game called Planet Safari. And that game, so basically everybody has been kind of expecting this, but Frontier has always been like, nah, that's just, no, we're not doing that anymore. But we still kind of expected it to happen. A lot of people wanted this to be an expansion to Planet Coaster. And I mean, I suppose it could have been, but I personally kind of prefer that this is its own game. So let's talk a little bit about what was announced today, what we know, and then we'll take a look at some screenshots and stuff. So the game, as you have already seen the trailer, or you're seeing the trailer in the background right now as it's coming to its close, is actually called Planet Zoo. It is, some people are saying it's a spiritual successor to Planet Coaster, and I've even heard some people say it's Planet Coaster 2. It's nothing could be further from the truth of that. A spiritual successor would maybe be closer, but yeah, basically it's going to be a lot like Planet Coaster in its own way as far as creativeness, from what I can tell. You're going to be able to build a world for wildlife in Planet Zoo from the developers of Planet Coaster and Zoo Tycoon, the one that was on the Xbox, and that was the most recent one. Not that great of a game. Comes the Ultimate Zoo Sim. Well, Ultimate Zoo Sim? We'll see, won't we? Construct detailed habitats, manage your zoo, and meet authentic living animals who think, feel, and explore the world you create around them. Now, to me, I loved the original Zoo Tycoon games back when they first came out years ago. Has that been like 20 years ago? Wow, it's been a while. But I really enjoyed those games. And I think I'm really going to enjoy this game as well, as long as they do it right. Like, we don't want another botch up like Jurassic World. I was extremely excited about Jurassic World Evolution all the way up until they started showing us more of how the game is going to be played, and it looked like you were just going to be able to plop things down. There wasn't any creativeness to it, and the whole game was supposed to be revolved around its management, and Frontier isn't exactly known for their management systems. Just take a look at Planet Coaster. It's got one of the worst management systems I've ever seen in it. But, well, not the worst I've ever seen, but it's pretty bad. And Jurassic World Evolution just turned out to be a $60 mobile game on PC, basically. And you do this, you click something, you wait. That's pretty much every mobile game. I'm surprised they didn't include anything in there where you can pay extra to, like extra cash to them to unlock things earlier or make it go faster, like Jurassic World Gems or something. But all right, I digress. So yeah, Planet Zoo looks to be a fairly amazing game as long as it stays true to what they are trying to do. So basically, from the developer, sorry, I read that, featuring authentic living animals who think, feel, and explore the world you create around them. So does that mean that the animals are actually going to be able to be aware of their surroundings? I don't know, but hopefully that would be something interesting to do. I'm sure, they won't be exactly right. Experience a globe-trotting campaign, or let your imagination run wild in the freedom of sandbox mode, which is probably where I'll be playing most of it at. Create unique habitats, vast landscapes, make big decisions, meaningful choices, nurture your animals as you construct and manage the world's wildest zoos. Simulation runs wild. Meet a world of incredible animals. From playful lion cubs to mighty elephants, every animal in Planet Zoo is thinking, feeling individual with distinctive look and personality of their own. Create detailed habitats to bring your own animals' natural environments home, research and manage each species to allow them to thrive, and help your animals raise family that pass their genes on to future generations. So it looks like they're borrowing a little bit from Jurassic World there as well, as far as like the genes and like being able to raise them. A little bit more like, I guess you could say, Sims kind of in that way, where you can have the children who take on the traits of their parents. And in this particular case, yeah, you would want to kind of manage your animals and make sure they're breeding correctly, so that you can get a nice kind of zoo going and no defects. You don't want a lion with 5 legs. Um, this ain't West Virginia Zoo, although it could be. You could do that, possibly. But yeah, I think this game is looking really good. We'll move on to the next thing that they're saying: meaningful management. On this one, this is a wait and see on this one. This game has a whole lot of potential if they can get the management right. The management is the biggest thing that they really need to get right in this game for it to be successful. The creativity that they've done to it, already a step above Jurassic World. And if they can bring the sandbox mode and stuff in, that kind of like what we have, and be able to build kind of like we do in Planet Coaster, I could feel sandbox mode being quite good. But I've always been... A lot of people kind of say, oh, well, you just love to do sandbox because, there's no fun in that. There is a lot of fun in sandbox mode, but that's not necessarily me. The one thing people have always failed to understand about me personally is yes, I do love to build beautiful things in sandbox mode, but I also want to run it. I want to run what I create. If I make a huge big theme park, I would really love to be able to manage that particular theme park the way that I have it set up. And in Planet Coaster, I can't particularly do that. So therefore, yes, all the things that people say about the management in Planet Coaster, I see it too, guys. I'm not just one of those sandbox creators. I feel your pain. I want to be able to manage that. So I feel like for Planet Zoo to be successful, it really has to have the management down pat. It has to concentrate on that and get it right. This, for one thing, Frontier, if you're listening to my video, if you're watching my video, you have got to get this right. Please don't screw this up. This is what's going to make or break this game, is the management in this game, I feel. You can't just rely upon pretty graphics and being able to create in sandbox mode and how the animals work and stuff. You're not going to be able to get by on that. That didn't work in Jurassic World. It's not going to work in this. You actually have to have a good management system in this game to be able to manage the zoo correctly. That's what always made the Zoo Tycoon games a whole lot of fun. So therefore, I would really love to see that kind of brought over and enhanced and made better with the techniques and stuff that we have today with the developments of games. So, meaningful management, it says, manage an amazing living world that responds to every decision that you make. Focus on the big picture or go hands-on and control the smallest details. Thrill visitors with iconic exhibits, develop your zoo with new research, and release new generations of your animals back into the wild. So, obviously, once you have an animal, you can release it back in the wild again. That's cool. We'll see how that plays out. Your choices come alive in a world where animal welfare and conservation comes first. Moving on down, the next thing here is limitless creativity. So this is where I was saying about the sandbox mode. And from the pictures and stuff in the video, well, you can't really tell a whole lot about the video. It's just basically concept art. A lot like how they introduced Planet Coaster for the first time. But looking at the photos and stuff, it does look like the sandbox mode of Planet Coaster is going to come into play here, as far as being able to have small building pieces, make your own buildings, set down your own paths, not just plopping down buildings like Jurassic World, but actually being able to create buildings that you want to create. And I think that's going to be quite good. It looks like a lot of the trees are just enhanced versions of the trees and stuff that we already have in Planet Coaster. Even the guests are completely identical to the Planet Coaster guests. So, there is that. Planet Zoo's powerful piece-by-piece construction tools, so there you have it. They let you effortlessly make your zoo unique. Every creative decision you make impacts the lives of your animals and the experience of your visitors. Let your imagination run wild as you dig lakes, rivers, raise hills and mountains, carve paths and caves, and build stunning zoos with a choice of unique themes and hundreds of building components. Hundreds of building components, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more later on. I'm sure this game will definitely get some DLC. I see this game being released a lot like Planet Coaster did, because they're aiming for they're saying autumn, so fall of 2019, so we don't have much longer to wait for this game to come out. And they're just now announcing it. So obviously it's been in development for a while, and At least probably they don't have as long as from the time they first announced Planet Coaster to now. There might even be a beta of it. Who knows? If there is, I'm sure I won't be in it unless it's actually a paid beta, because I'm sure they're going to give it to their golden fans out there. You know who I'm talking about. But hopefully I can get in on this beta and actually play around with this, because I'm excited for this game. Don't get me wrong. Don't get any of my comments wrong about this. I'm excited for this game. So I'm really looking forward to it. The limitless creativity, you know, being able to create all of this, and like I said, being able to have all of the things, a lot of the tools and stuff that we have from Planet Coaster brought over into this. And some people are saying it's Planet Coaster 2.0, and I can see this. It looks like they've taken a lot of things that they've done with Jurassic World, a lot of things they've done with Planet Coaster, and they've combined them. And, you know, will we get a Planet Coaster 2? I would say we definitely will. And Planet Coaster 2 will take things that they've learned from this game and move into that. And, you know, that's the way the development kind of works. So we'll be looking at a lot of stuff and seeing what this game does. And like weather, for example, is going to be in this game. And, you know, animals and how they react and stuff. And I feel a lot of that will probably carry over and maybe be enhanced for Planet Coaster 2. Even looks like, from what I can tell, I think we're even going to be able to place fences down by the same way that we do in City Skylines or in Jurassic World Evolution, where you can just drag and build the fence as you drag along. So just like a path kind of, but with a fence. That's going to be fantastic. I really wish we had that tool in Planet Coaster, but we don't. So the next thing here is share and inspire. Join a connected community and share the world's most creative habitats, scenery, and even whole zoos on the Steam Workshop. See your own designs appear in zoos around the world, or discover fresh new content from the Planet Zoo community every day. One of the key things I noticed in this statement here is the world's most creative habitats, scenery, and even whole zoos. So creative habitats. This means you'll be able to actually make like a section and actually put it in there, and it's a whole habitat for a specific animal, possibly. I'll be interested in knowing how this actually works. Will we be able to like quarter off sections, and this is just where this particular animal's habitat is, and then turn that into a blueprint? Or is this just drag, you know, like we have it now, where you just select a bunch of stuff, make it into a blueprint, and call that a habitat? We don't know yet. I'm sure we'll find out as the game gets closer to release. So having gone through all of that at this point, I mean, we could talk about some of the photos and stuff that have been released. If you didn't see these photos already on some other videos that may have come out today, then I'll go over them. They can be seen as well, if you would like to, on the Frontiers website by going to the Planet Zoo section of their site, and everything is in there. So one of the first photos that we have here is a picture of a lion and a lioness. And it looks like they are inside of a cave, but one of the biggest things that you can see in this picture, if you look all the way in the background, is there's some kind of like net fence, it looks like, or like a chain link fence in the background. But even beyond that is a train. So there will be probably transportation rides in this. I've been hearing people say, oh, it's probably going to have some flat rides and some other stuff. I don't think so. I basically think this game is going to be pure zoo. So we're going to get like maybe some transport rides, but that's going to be it. There's not going to be like a carousel or anything like that. I don't know, maybe a carousel, like an animal themed carousel might be possible, but I don't think we're going to get like any kind of flat rides or anything like that, like Planet Coaster. You're not going to be able to place down coasters or flat rides in that particular nature. But we may have something like a carousel or something. But it looks like mostly, I imagine it being like just transportation rides, like maybe how we have the boat ride, the African safari boat in Planet Coaster, or as you can see here in this picture, a train. And it looks like you'll be able to place down the train tracks anywhere you want, just like in Planet Coaster. Just basically it's Planet Coaster 2.0 as far as that goes, as far as the game engine goes. It's the same engine, just with enhancements taken from other games. So that's one of the biggest things that we want to see here, as well as actually being able to see the detail of the animals themselves, which don't really particularly fit the Planko people. But then again, if you look at some of the DLC like say the adventure DLC that we got with Planet Coaster with the crocodiles and the rhinos and all that. They're fairly more realistic than what the actual peeps are or guests in Planet Coaster. So this is something I don't really care that much about, is how different how cartoony the guests are compared to the realisticness of the animals themselves. I'm perfectly happy with this difference. It works, and in kind of a contrast kind of way. So moving on to the next photo here, we have a beautiful wolf just in this snowy habitat. And one of the main things to pay attention to in this picture is that, if you can tell, it is snowing in the background. So weather will most likely play some kind of factor into this. There's a couple other pictures that have rain and stuff in it too, so weather's a thing. And this really cool wolf right here, it looks beautiful. Its paws and everything, and yeah, that's really all I can say about this photo here. So wolves are confirmed. So far we know lions, wolves. There were some giraffes. If you pay attention to the video, giraffes also are in the game as well. Here we have some zebras, and these things are kind of cool looking. Zebras are kind of a staple of most zoos, I suppose. Looking in the background, you can see some more buildings and stuff in the background, which are probably built piece by piece, and there's some beautiful scenery pieces there too. Also, it looks like the top of a hut on the left-hand side there, like an African type of hut, and like an African village hut. That looks really cool. There's a wall right there on your right. It looks like a low stone kind of stucco wall. And then all the way up in the background back there, you can see some banyan trees, I think they call them, and also it looks like some shops and some other things up there where the guests are actually kind of looking around. I kind of feel like this thing over to the left with the clock tower on it could possibly be a train station. But I would imagine it's most likely built out of custom pieces as well, because it's just like Planet Coaster, you build your own pieces. Next picture we have here is some beautiful elephants and a little baby elephant there kind of going along with them. A little bit of Dumbo kind of in there. Some other things you see in the background is there's some buildings back here in the background as well. And some more trees, some more foliage. And one thing to pay attention here is if you look at the grass, how the grass is actually kind of stuck up out of the ground. It's much more realistic than what it is in just a flat surface like in Planet Coaster. I didn't play Jurassic World Evolution, but my understanding is that you can paint a texture onto the ground of grass. So that is something that they're probably taking over from Jurassic World as well. And then of course there's some little log things back in the background too. There could probably be a fence or some kind of maybe habitat or shelter of some sort for the elephants there. And then we will move on into the next one. Now, before I do that though, one thing I kind of caught my eye here that I was just looking at and thinking about as I'm looking at this picture of the elephants is, I wonder if there will be different kinds of the different animals, such as black elephants or like black rhinos and stuff like that, and then the gray ones. So I wonder if they will have different variations of the different animals, because there's a lot of different variations of different animals. There's leopards, there's snow leopards, there's tigers, and then you have snow tigers, and I'm calling Siberian tigers is what I'm thinking of, and different things like that. So I wonder if we'll have different variations of the different animals. Jaguars, panthers. I'm just thinking, I'm a big cat guy, so I love all the good cats. This next picture here, it looks like we got a gardener. I'm going to call him Jose. And he has what looks to be like a leaf blower there. And it doesn't look like it's blowing anything. It looks more like it's sucking the grass into it. It could be blowing it, but I think this is more of their version of a lawnmower. So it looks like he is taking care of the habitat here with the zebras in it. Or zebras, however you want to pronounce it. And it looks like he's just kind of cleaning up around the interior of this habitat, and he's using this gigantic leaf blower. It's kind of what it resembles as a leaf blower to kind of mow the yard, which is a weird concept. Not sure how that's going to work, but it's Planko. I'll go with it. It's kind of cool. You can even see, if you're looking at this picture in a whole lot of detail, you can even see there's a bit of smoke coming off the back of the leaf blower that he's holding there. It's just barely visible, but I just happened to notice that. So that's kind of cool. It looks like we'll have some little effects on some of these things too. So that's neat. So, you know, obviously taking care of the habitats is going to be an important thing in this game. So moving on along, here we have a picture of the entire area here. And you can see a lot of stuff here. You can see how the terrain is going to work, and it looks like it's very similar to how the terrain and stuff works in Planet Coaster. We'll be able to sculpt and do what we want. Looks like there's rocks. The pathing, of course, that you see here is also the same pathing that we got with Planet Coaster, that kind of tannish, kind of stucco looking kind of path. I'm imagine we'll probably have other kinds of paths as well. I can also see the orange path there, as well as the asphalt path up there on the left that's going over top of the water. Those lights are really cool. Kind of wish we had those lights in Planko. I don't think we do. But another thing to pay attention here, and we saw this in the video as well, the trailer, is it looks like you can give your animals little things to play with, toys and such. Like the elephants have these giant soccer balls. Also in the video, you'll notice there's a section where the lion kind of like comes up and jumps up onto the giant pillar, like a scratching post, which is probably my favorite part of that entire like teaser video. I really love that. And that's just one of the things here, a couple of things I'm noticing in this picture is just the sculpting. Also being able to, looks like there's feeding troughs for the animals and stuff you can put in there as well. And if you look right over there where all the guests are kind of over top of the water on the floating platform over there, there looks to be probably a baby elephant in the water there swimming. So it looks like the water is actually going to be much better in this version of the game than Planet Coaster, which is a good thing. So this is a good sign for Planet Coaster 2 as far as actually having workable water that maybe people can swim in for water parks and stuff later on. Alright, and the next one here we have some beautiful, looks like grizzly bears or just brown bears here. And this is really cool. If you look at the background, you can see it looks like they have a small, it looks like it's been sculpted. It could just be something that's been placed down as like a shelter, but there's a cave right back there, which is probably the shelter for the bears. And another thing I noticed here is on the trees, there are actually lights attached to the trees at the bottom of the trunks. I noticed this in another photo as well, and I find that to be interesting on how the lights are down there like that. So it doesn't seem like that would be functional in an actual zoo, because it seems like the animals would, especially a bear, which loves to like scratch its backs on trees, would kind of screw those up. But I don't know. It's still kind of a cool feature. And then of course in the background you can also see some more of that those wooden fences and stuff back there. And it looks like that's a giant tree that's like been kind of, if you're looking on the top right back there, it looks like a giant tree trunk just kind of fell over or maybe sawed up or something there, which I find interesting as well. In our next photo here, we have a sleeping hippopotamus. And the detail on these animals, like I was saying earlier, are extremely cool. And these things are very detailed, especially on the skin textures and stuff. And it makes me wonder if this is actually going to be the final product in game, if they will be this textured. I play in 4K myself now on Planet Coaster, and I could never go back to playing in 1080p now that I've been playing in 4K. So it'd be really cool to see if they actually have these textures and stuff in the game. I imagine that the environments that we'll be able to build in and stuff will probably be much smaller than Planet Coaster's environments, and we'll probably be building detailed like we do in Planet Coaster, but probably not as detailed with the rides and everything as we do in Planet Coaster. So yeah, so that's really all I can say about here. Again, we have the feeding trough back in the back left. You can see there's an entrance gate for like probably the people who need to take care of the animals. So I imagine you'll probably have veterinarians you'll have to hire, people to take care of the actual habitats, janitors, things like that, as well as people to work the booths and cells and all that stuff for the park as well. So that'll be kind of cool to have to micromanage all that. And another photo where we have here, again, we're back to the bear environment there with the wooden thing. And this is where you can really kind of see that this isn't something that was just kind of like built out of single pieces. This looks like the fencing that, like Jurassic World, where you drag and drop the fence how you want it, and then kind of move it around, maybe like a node kind of thing, like how City Skylines is done. But I imagine it'd be done a lot a lot in the same factor that Jurassic World is. And again, I've never played Jurassic World, so I'm not sure exactly how that works. I just do know that you can drag and drop fences, which would be a whole lot easier if we had that in Planet Coaster. Another cool little detail here in this photo to notice is on the left-hand side there, the benches. Those like kind of Frontier-esque benches are really, really cool. I really like those. And those are really, really neat. And we also have some light poles in the background and some more stuff going on way back in the background that we can't really see. But one big thing right here front and center is the guests. And the guests, as you can see, are exact copies of the Planko guests. There's not a huge difference in these guests whatsoever. It looks like they just basically ripped them out of Planet Coaster and put them into this game to show off. So will that be changed in the future? Kind of doubt it. Considering even the logo for Planet Zoo looks exactly like Planet Coaster's logo, except instead of a roller coaster track going through the circle, it's like a lion's tail or something. Some kind of animal's tail going through there. That's really neat. Again, in this photo, looking at the foliage is absolutely beautiful. These trees are just highly detailed. I would wish we had these trees in Planet Coaster. Why we never got any more foliage in Planet Coaster from Frontier, I don't know. I really wish we could have. This is something they could have done. Obviously, they're doing it for this game, so to be able to get the same kind of trees in Planet Coaster would have been great. But you got those giant like pine trees in the background and fir trees and stuff would just be fantastic to have in Planet Coaster. And then we got the bears in the background there playing around by the water there. So again, I feel like water is going to be much more improved in this game. And the last photo that I have here for you guys, this one's actually taken from the Steam page where you can actually go and add it to your wish list and stuff right now, the Steam sales page. And this one's listed on there, and it's basically some guests kind of looking and pointing at this lion, and the lion's kind of like, if I wasn't in his cage, I would totally eat every one of you. The only thing really to kind of see any different in this is it's kind of interesting how they have all the hay kind of put down there for the animals to kind of lay on and sleep on and keep cool with. But in the background right there, right behind the lion, you'll see that there's like, you could call that a feeding trough, but it looks like it's an animal that the lion has actually eaten. So it could be that maybe, I think they have this in Jurassic World where you can put feeding troughs out, and the feeding troughs look like animals that have been eaten. So I think that's kind of what they're going with in this one as well. So since Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 had the ability where we could actually crash the coasters with the guests on it, but in Planet Coaster they took away that ability to be able to harm the guests in any kind of reasonable way and have some fun with that. It makes me wonder, will we be able to open the enclosures and let the lions out? Or the monkeys, if there's monkeys. I imagine there has to be monkeys in this game, right? Will we be able to let all the monkeys out and play with the guests and terrorize the guests? Will the lions be able to get out and eat the guests like Jurassic World? Time will tell, but there we have it. So that's kind of my look here and my thoughts about Planet Zoo. I think it's going to be, so far, I'm interested. I'm very, very interested in this game. I think this could be something that I could have a whole lot of fun playing. Again, I do think they have to do the management right on it. I think they're off to a great start. I don't think this is Planet Coaster 2. I think this is actually a good step towards. I don't think this is actually detrimental to Planet Coaster. I don't think this is the way that things are going to go. I read this in my Discord. Somebody said, I feel like this is the way that Planet Coaster is going to go from here on out, or the way things are going to be. They're just going to make Planet Boardwalk, Planet Water Park. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Planet Coaster 2 will get made. I think Planet Coaster 2 will have water parks in it. I don't think we're going to get an entire Planet Water Park game. I don't think it's going to go that way at all. Planet Zoo is going to stand alone on its own as its own game, as a zoo game. And I've been seeing a lot of comments already today from people who are like, they should have just put this as a DLC or an expansion to Planet Coaster. But honestly, I don't think they should have. I really would much rather see this as its own separate game, because I'm much more interested in playing a zoo game than to have zoo stuff in my theme parks, because it's stuff that I would never actually play. For those out there who disagree with me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you disagree with me, but I mean, I really think this game should stand better on its own. and therefore I'm really looking forward to playing this game and having some fun with it. It's not going to replace Planet Coaster by any means to me, because I'm a huge theme park enthusiast. I'm a huge coaster enthusiast. I'm going to be playing Planet Coaster until they make Planet Coaster 2. But I will definitely be having some fun with this game. I'm pretty sure of that. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. Let me know what your thoughts about this game are in the comments below. And what do you think? What kind of animals will you think we're going to see other than what we've already seen here? And just let me know your thoughts. In the meantime, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, guys. Thanks for watching.
Gonna build a mountain from a little hill. Gonna build a mountain, I hope I will. Gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I only know I'm gonna try. Push that daydream up the mountain slope. I build my mountain with a learning care, and take my daydream up the mountain, heavenly waiting
What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down below and click on the bell to stay on top of all my new videos and live streaming events here on YouTube. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the names you see on the right for their support through donations, Patreon, and through Twitch subs. If you would like to join their ranks and you are able, you can do so by clicking on any of those links in the video description down below. No worries though, if you don't like giving away money like that, you can still support the channel by purchasing games or anything through Greenman Gaming, through Humble Bundle, or through Amazon by clicking on my links and making your purchase. A little bit of that goes towards me to support the channel. If you still can't get enough of me, you can always check me out live on twitch.tv and stay up to date with me on Twitter as well. Now that's going to be it, but I can't say thank you enough for all your support here on the channel. Wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later.